GPS, I don't know what's going on with your peoples down in Georgia, especially these senators, the governor. You know, we got new election laws down there, and let me get into this from our peoples at CNN. The new Georgia elections law, signed by Republican Governor Brian Kemp last week, promoted lawsuits from civil rights groups, a sharp denunciation from President Biden, and calls for businesses to take action against the state. And kind of add on to that, one of the places that have taken action, one of the organizations, is Major League Baseball. They have decided to move their All-Star game from Georgia to, so they haven't said where it's going to be now, but they are definitely not siding with the governor in this situation. So kudos to MLB for doing that. Now, there are Republican proponents of the law say the critics who accuse them of voter suppression are mischaracterizing both their intentions with key provisions of the law. They claim that the law not only makes Georgia elections more secure, but it expands the access to voting. Now, it can be said that that's misleading, because critics have correctly said that the law imposes significant new obstacles to voting. It also gives the Republican-controlled state government new power to assert control over the conduct of elections in Democratic counties. Now, the law does, however, contain some provisions that can reasonably be described as pro-voting, and critics have not always described all of their texts accurately. So it goes from increased state power over counties to guaranteed but limited drop boxes, early voting day in primaries and general elections, and shortened runoffs, and also absentee voting. So, GPS, what's going on with Georgia?
Representative out of Georgia. She did a lot of work trying to get people out to vote. Getting people to the ballots, and she couldn't bring the polls. She couldn't get them to the polls. She brought the polls to them. Now they want to circumvent all the work that she did. Now I'm looking at some of this here, where as far as absentee ballots go. Okay, well, let's just say this, right? Let's say I'm a truck driver.
Yep.
I live in Georgia, or I live, in Atlanta, wherever it is. If my company has me on the other side of the world, i.e. California, Washington State, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, if I'm not back there like maybe the week before absentee ballots go in, I may not get to vote, because who's to say when I'm going to get back, or if I'm going to get back in time?
That's true. That's very true.
Military, there's different other careers that definitely needs to be considered. You work overseas somewhere, but you can't get that. Yeah,
it's looking really rough and everything. Cortez, I mean, after, like GPS said, after we get all this finally in order, of course, Republicans want to come and just fuck shit up.
Yeah, that's it. And this is racism. This is racism, and it's pure glory. Let's come out and admit it, folks. I mean, come on. All of a sudden now we got problems with the elections. We weren't having problems with the elections when Obama got elected, when George Bush got elected, but now we have issues with elections. I feel as though that those states need to be bored. They need to be taken to the Supreme Court, man. I really believe that, because they're violating a lot of constitutional rights, man. Mainly for African Americans. I mean, let's be real. There's more African Americans voted in this past election than Obama, than Clinton. Now all of a sudden we see numbers. We see that the population is starting to look more brown and more brown and Latino. We need to change the game plan up right now. Yep. That's what I think was going on. They're not gonna come out and say it, but
Yeah. But I feel like it should be like a battle cry, like for a younger generation to know what's going on, to see how important voting is. Because a lot of younger people are like, oh, it doesn't matter, my vote doesn't count. But seeing these changes, that should prompt them to say, okay, maybe it does. Let me reevaluate going to the polls and make sure I get out there. So I think it'll rally more younger people to get involved.
Well, let's hope so. The only problem that I have is if they want to push this, let's say, to the Supreme Court, remember, who did Trump put in there? He put in there one of his own little lackeys and everything to try to make sure that things get passed in the Republican direction. So,
but they didn't. You sure? The same lackeys he put in there was the same lackeys that turned on him, man. Because remember, he depended on them to turn this election over, man. Remember that?
Yeah, it's all fake news. It's all fake news.
His people turned. Same people he elected in office, they did not deliver for him, man. What they were supposed to deliver for him.
Y'all a bunch of fuck-ups.
If you count the legal votes, I easily won.
I won by one vote, and that was my vote.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but everybody's definitely on point with this. Where we got to have some kind of a battle cry. We got to say, hey, look, our liberties are being threatened, and what if they try to use Georgia as a catalyst for doing this for the rest of the country?
Everywhere, yeah.
Then you're going to have a shitstorm here. I predict if that's going to happen like that, you're going to have maybe a second civil war. No lie. It's going to get that bad.
It's going to get ugly, man, because it's being slapped in the face. It's equivalent of you being slapped in the face and somebody saying, what are you going to do? I really think by them doing what they did, man, and I had conversations with some of my coworkers about this, man, and they even see that it's not fair, and I'm like, I'm glad that y'all see that, that it's not fair. This is not a fair situation.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they literally trying to rewrite the books, man. That's what's happening.
They think it's gonna work in their direction, but this is where, like you said, we have to get grassroots organizations to start looking into all these little things that are happening and just start putting pressure on them to make sure that we don't have our rights violated. That's what it just comes down to in a nutshell. So, GPS, you think that we're going to have these grassroots organizations come out and start opposing what the governor is saying?
Well, the name I couldn't remember before was Stacey Abrams.
Stacey.
It looks like there's some more work to do. Fortunately for her, Mr. Kemp only has 2 more years to go before re-election. I hope she's really got something up her sleeve to make sure he's not there come 2023.
Now I just had an epiphany. GPS, Cortez, you guys did bow out of the presidential election because Joe Biden was running. So you sacrificed the Oval Office for the good of the country. So, GPS, are you thinking about running for any kind of Georgia position?
You know what?
You can go by your platform. You got your platform already set up. The 9-3 platform.
You're right. 9 months off. I mean, 9 months working, 3 months off. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, my son would be out of school by then.
I see politics in GPS's future, Cortez.
I do too, man.
Cortez, you got a little while to go.
Yes, I do, man.
You got about 16 more years, 17 more years.
Yeah, I got a lot going on.